Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 6, Episode 22. And the name of this episode is Till Death Do Us Part. Yo, this episode was some fire. Yo, I did not see some of these things coming. Like, I knew something was about to happen, because I had this feeling throughout the whole episode. Some explosive things were going to happen. And, the Have and the Have-Nots returns on August 14th, so we got a break until then, but let's just say they definitely left us on a fucking cliffhanger. So let me begin. The episode picks up where it left off, you know, where Candace has pushed Oscar out of the window, and she goes back to her room, and we see that RK's at the door. She lets RK in and lets him know that Oscar's dead and that she pushed him out of a window, and he's like, damn. Holy shit. And like, so he's kind of like shocked, like, yo, I can't believe you did this shit. But then she tells him to write a note, pretty much a fake suicide note, to make it look like Oscar jumped out the window versus being pushed out the window. And you know, they was even part of, you know, when she's saying that, you know, you know, she kind of worded for him what she wanted him to say, that, you know, I can't take this anymore and I want to put you out of your misery. And like, misery, misery. Like, I thought that was pretty funny. And of course, like, RK's like, man, I can't do this. I can't take this. He's like, you can make it happen. You got all the master keys, and you know you steal every damn thing. So she kind of read his ass all some shit. You steal all the time. This ain't nothing new for you. So he's like, oh, okay. So he puts the note there, and it's done. So. And she also talks, and she tells him more in depth what happened. He's like, yo, you gotta tell me what the fuck went on. And he was like, he was roughing me up in the elevator. He stole $4 million from me, so I stole the money back plus interest. And she's like, whoa, look at, dang, that's what's up. And yeah, because at first, you know, RK was like, he didn't deserve to die like that. He didn't deserve to die like that. Why would you do that? But then she lets him know that, yeah, he had stole that $4 million and she got it back plus interest. And he was like, damn, you a bad bitch. And she was like, yeah. So pretty much she was saying that, so she told him, like, you need to go back to work. And he was like, well, I'm actually off. You know, then he starts taking off his suspenders. I'm like, boy, RK got a hot dick and he just don't know what to do with his damn self. She pretty much says that, look, right now, the police may be, you know, investigating the place, so you need to kind of go back downstairs and, you know, kind of, you know, keep an eye out on what's going on. And then she was like, and put your damn suspenders back on. Thought that was funny. Then we see, you know, it picks up from where we, the last time we saw Catherine, she was crying in the car. We come to find out the reason why she's crying is because she goes back inside, runs into Hannah, and she lets Hannah know that, she pretty much lets Hannah know the truth. But before that, Hannah is like literally at the desk trying to find out where's Benny. Benny's not in the system. He's still in the squad car. Catherine goes in and runs into Hannah and lets Hannah know that, you know, Benny is innocent. Wyatt did this, and I'm sorry. So immediately Hannah's like, well, how long have you known this? She told her not that long. She says, when you mentioned that to me, it was kind of iffy. But then later on, I put everything together. But then she said that, yeah, Marty's on his way down here. Marty knows everything, and he's going to, you know, get Benny out of jail. So, and she said that, look, I had to tell the truth. But they have a moment because, you know, this is her child. This is her only living child. And yet she's about to turn him into the police. And she's racked with a lot of, you know, guilt and everything, but she's like, this is my son, but, you know, he needs to start paying for his actions. And Hannah's like, you know, I feel the same way about Candace, you know, this whole time when, you know, she was going through that whole situation with Quincy, you know, so trust me, I know exactly what you're going through. And, you know, and then like, you know, also, Catherine's feeling some kind of way because she's like, man, we do all we can for our children, and Look what we end up with. So we saw that go on. Then we see back at the Artesian Hotel, the police are everywhere, and we see G and Jim walking down the stairs. Now I'm thinking, yeah, Jim probably had a little roughhouse sex with her, but she seems pretty cool now. And she's like, what the hell is going on here? And Jim was like, I don't know. But she's like, okay, I'll see you later. She calls the DA, George, and lets him know that, yeah, I made good with Jim. Yeah, so we can move on it. But we better be ready. So I'm like, I'm starting to think, Gia is probably more involved than we thought. Like, we just got her thinking, like, I think she's more than just an informant. I think she may be like a special investigator or something, because the way she was talking, she had a lot of confidence in her voice in a way that I've never seen her before. Because we've always seen her as this little meek type of chick who can easily get pushed around, but I'm starting to think there's a little bit more to Gia than we think. And she's talking to George, but then George tells Sarah that, yeah, Jim cried, we about to get him, and finally, our informant's about to wear a wire. We're about to nail that son of a bitch. Then here goes Sarah after George leaves. She calls Jim and lets Jim know about it. Oh yeah, the hoe was talking, and he's like, oh damn it, that bitch. And she's like, yeah, handle it. So Sarah is still being like Jim's eyes and ears in the whole situation, trying to help him to stay 2 steps ahead of what's about to happen. Then we actually see that damn Jim Cryer runs into Justin, because Justin is one of the officers there on the scene. Like, it's like Justin always on something, but then he always in the middle of something and starting shit too with his crazy simple ass. So he runs into, Glenn Close or whatever. He's like, oh, so what the hell is going on here? And Justin's like, I'm not privy to tell you anything, sir. And he was like, excuse me, but I remember the last time I saw you up in my son's house and everything, so you're gonna let me know everything I need to know. I'll have so much charges running up your ass, it'll make your head spin. Yeah, because, Jim know about him being crooked and all that shit. He pretty much says that, look, we had a jumper, this guy Oscar Aiden, and he's like, what? And he's like, did you know him? And Jim is like, no, I didn't know him or whatever, but thank you. And he kind of like goes off, and then we see RK heading upstairs. He notices RK, because you remember RK was in jail, so Justin definitely recognized him. He sees him going up the elevator, and he looks up and knows what. So pretty much, we already get a glimpse right there. Justin knows that Jeffrey's there. And I'm trying to say, like, yo, he always got tabs on fucking Jeffrey. Like, just like Veronica does. So this shit is crazy. Then we get a scene with Erica and David. She's talking about how much she hates the furniture, and he was like, well, fine, we can remodel everything. We can remodel everything, and we can do this house any way you want to. As a matter of fact, you should just go out and do some shopping. And she's like, well, fine, I'll catch a cab and do it. He's like, oh no, not a cab. This fool done bought her a new damn car, a nice convertible. And then next thing you know, we see that Jim shows up. So he finally meets Erica for the first time. Jim definitely got that third eye out, like, you fine and all, but I don't trust you, bitch. He was given that. And, he's like, oh, wow, the mystery woman, huh? He's like, well, I just think he kept me a mystery because of Crazy, who was talking about Veronica's ass. He was like, oh, yeah, who would have thought that David would ever deal with anybody crazy, let alone be married to it? So I'm like, Jim kind of threw that jab. So then, she excuses herself, and they go inside, and pretty much, him and Jim start talking, and he pretty much tells him that, Oscar killed himself. And of course, David's like, what the hell? Like, that don't even sound like Oscar. Oscar would never do nothing like that. He's like, yeah, but I'm trying to tell you, he killed himself. And he's like, Jim, did you do this shit? He's like, no, I didn't do it. I don't even got my money back. He was my only way of getting the money. So no, I didn't kill him. And of course he finds out. So yeah. So what I do know is the fact that my money is actually in Benny Young's account. So now he's like, okay, I come to find out, Benny's in jail. So he pretty much says, can you, so pretty much, he pretty much lets him know that, okay, I'll call down to the jail and get you in there to go see him. Yeah, that's what went down. So yeah, he tells him that, yeah, Benny just got arrested, so therefore he's on his way to the jail, being framed for the whole Malone, situation. So, he asks David to call the jail so he can meet him with Benny. And of course he's asking him what the hell's going on, and he's saying nothing, but David's giving that eye that something ain't right. So then we already see that so we already see that afterwards David comes inside, goes to Erica, and Erica's like, okay, let's go for a drive, and he was like, no, I actually gotta handle some business, but you can take the car out if you want. She's like, oh no, I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive without you. I want you to be in the car with me. So he's like, okay, fine, we'll take care of it when I get back. Then we see that while David is getting in his car, we see that the dude that Veronica hired, the hitman, is there scoping him out, and he's acting like he's working construction or whatever. He calls Veronica. Veronica picks up. She thinks it was her normal phone, but it's actually a burner phone that he's calling her on. So he calls. She's like, fool, didn't I tell you not to fucking call me? And he was like, look, it's a burner phone. No one's going to track this. And he lets her know that he just bought her a new car. And we can see that definitely made that stinking ass Veronica feel some kind of way. So she was like, well, won't you make that your play then? And he's like, oh yeah, and I'm going to let you know it's going to be big. And he's like, well, yeah, the bigger the better. Now don't call my damn phone no more. Yeah. And then it's the so then after she gets off the phone with him, her other phone rings, her actual phone, and it's the doctor, ready to go and confront Melissa at Hannah's house. So she leaves out, but before she leaves, she starts talking shit to her maid like, Alice, bitch, this damn table is so damn dusty. You need to do some work around here with your blind ass. I'm like, Veronica, you evil bitch. Oh my god, she's a fucking mess. I can't. So we see that David, David's plan worked, and he got, Jim in there to see Benny. Benny is like laying on the table. He's like, I ain't talking to nobody until I got a lawyer. And he's like, well, it's like, well, fine, you'll talk to me. And he's like, I didn't do this. He was like, yeah, you can say you didn't do this, and you can say this all you want to, but but there's witnesses, to this crime. But he's like, but I didn't do this. I'm innocent. He's like, I know you are. As a matter of fact, to tell you even better, I know who did it. But he was like, well, you need to go out there and tell him that I'm innocent. He's like, I'm not telling them anything because you got something that belongs to me. Something close to about $9 million. Your sister Candace stole my money. He's like, well, he's like, don't play dumb, Benny. I'm like, well, that's just it. Benny's not playing dumb. Benny's dumb as hell. And then he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, so you are dumb. I guess it runs in the family. I'm like, chill. See, Tyler probably be listening to us when we be going in on damn Benny being dumb as shit. It's like he now writing it in the script. And I was like, that was cute. He was like, oh, I guess it runs in the family, huh? And pretty much he lets him know that, look, you either gonna give, he's like, you gonna give me back. He's like, I want my money back. And like Benny, you know, of course, try to act all big and bad like he always does. And he's saying that, dude, you don't even realize they have given a composite sketch saying you were the one that was there. It doesn't matter whether you're innocent or not. According to the case, you are the one who did this. So therefore, if you want to see the light of day, you're gonna give me back that fucking money, or I will make sure that that your ass gets prosecuted because you assaulted a Malone. So therefore, not only are they gonna throw the book at your ass, but this family is ruthless. They are the most ruthless family out there. They will fucking rip your fucking family apart, take everything you have, and will laugh doing it. And he says, so therefore, knowing this shit, they are going to be out for blood, and they're not going to be done until you are annihilated, and you probably will get killed in your damn cell. So, I'm letting you know right now, you better get me my fucking money, or you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life, and that'll be the end of you. And then all of a sudden, that damn Benny starts saying, like, you know what, I ought to punch you in your fucking face. He's like, go ahead and do it. But then, I'm like, see, he was about to do that racial shit with your dumb ass, and you was about to fall for it. Because if you would have fucking hit that motherfucker, or trust and believe, he would have used that shit against you. But then, before that could even go down, Hannah walks in, and it's like, Jim Cryer, what are you doing talking to my son? And he was like, you know, I was just having a conversation with him. Having a come to Jesus moment. I was like, oh no, you're not gonna fucking shade her with the Lord. I was like, ooh. So, but she's like, and then she's asking Benny, what the hell is he in here talking to you about? He's like, I ain't even trying to say nothing. It's nothing. You know, I was like, but he's like, what are y'all doing here? And then, Marty was like, you're free to go. And then, like, damn, Jim was like, he's not free to go. What do you mean he's free to go? Like, we already got the person who did it. He's like, what do you mean? The person who did it right here. What do you mean? Like, no, we got the actual person. Wyatt Cryer. He's like, oh, you must be sadly mistaken. I absolutely not. How would a Cryer do something like this to him? He said that your wife turned him in. So, Benny, yeah, let's get your stuff. So, Jim is just mad and reeling right now because it's like, here it is. He thought he was going to use his white privilege as well as his status to keep Benny down at that state to get that money back from him. But little does he know, he can't get back the money because it's not just Benny's account, it's Hannah's account too. And she's trying to put it together like, what the hell is going on? Because, you know, Hannah ain't going to let nothing go. And as a matter of fact, all on the way home, she probably was in the car bugging the fuck out of Benny. What did he want to talk to you about? What's going on with Candace? Blah, 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 blah. You know. So, yeah. Jim looked dumb as fuck because he made him look bad as hell. And all of a sudden, Jim was like, oh, hell no. And then he kind of got up and left. And then finally, Benny left. And, you know, probably all on the way home, Hannah was nagging the hell out of him, asking him about why Jim Cryer was there and what the hell is going on. So next, I'm going to talk about damn Jeffrey and Justin. Justin's on the phone talking to Jeffrey, you know, and he's asking, where are you? And he says, I'm staying at the place you ransacked. But really, he's at the Artesian. And also, that motherfucking Justin knows it. See, the thing is, Jeffrey is so fucking stupid, he doesn't even know the kind of monster that he's dealing with. This motherfucker got a tracking device on your black ass, so everywhere you go, Justin always pops up. And you have not figured out this is what you're dealing with? And he's like, well, I'm at the place. Like just straight lying to his ass. He's like, you know, and he was like, you know, I want to see you. And he's like, man, I'm just tired. I don't want to be bothered. He's like, why is it that you, why you keep doing this to me? I'm beginning to feel like you're punishing me. He's like, but then like Jeffrey's like, well, you need to be punished. He's like, yeah, but you won't. I'm like, he's just doing the most, and what he's doing is he's like going through the damn doors. Like, this motherfucker is so crazy. Glenn Close is so psychotic. She is literally listening on the phone, trying to hear which room that he's in or whatever. And I'm like, you are so fucking crazy. Because it's like, dude, Jeffrey, you don't know how crazy this fool is. Or better yet, he does, but then it's crazy because it's like he hangs up the phone on him and everything. So he's like, damn. But then he sees RK come up with, champagne and all that, and he, takes it to, he pretty much takes it to Jeffrey's room. So now he finds out which room he's in. And then, of course, inside the room, RK is still being aggressive, trying to get at Jeffrey, takes off the suspenders, lays up in the bed, and, gets comfortable saying that, yeah, you like me. I'm cute. Like, once you come over here, let's get close. Come on. Just being real out there with it. He's like, hey, how we are. We gotta, be open and go for what we want. Then there's a damn knock on the door, and it's Justin, aka Glenn Close, and he goes in. It's like, oh, well, before that happened, Jeffrey in a way was kind of clocking RK a little bit. He's like, why are you here? What are you doing? What are you, an escort or something? He's like, no, I'm kind of offended by that. But he's like, so what is this? Why are you doing this? He's like, because I think you cute and I want you and all that shit. But then there was a knock on the door, and then this Justin comes in, and Justin is pissed, and he starts reading like, oh, so this is what it is? This is what you do? And then, and then all of a sudden he looks at RK, he's like, oh yeah, I remember you. I booked you. Yeah, I remember your ass. And then all of a sudden he's like going back and forth, and he's like, so this is what you want, Jeffrey? Well, I'm going to let you know, baby, his record's a mile long. And didn't I actually arrest your ass for trying to rob a guy and making him think you were gay and all this shit? I'm like, oh, so this bitch done did this shit many a times before. And he's like, and as a matter of fact, how the hell did you even get this job? Well, little do you know, Justin, the Artesian is actually having they have an underground, sex ring, and, pretty much criminals hired them, so that's how he got his job. Anyway, but, so he pretty much said that, look, I was just here, delivering, champagne. He's like, but you work at the bar, though. Grilling the fuck out of him, like, he's acting like Jeffrey is his man. And he's like, but you work at the bar. He said, yeah, but I also do room service, too. Well, he's like, well, I'm gonna tell you this. You better get your ass out of here. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna actually have that bottle tested. And if I find any drugs in it, I swear I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna arrest your ass. And I was like, damn. Came up in there and blew up the damn spot. And we see that damn Jeffrey is mad as shit because Jeffrey was liking the attention that RK was giving him. He was. But of course, you know how Jeffrey is. Jeffrey always liked to play like he that tough guy when really... But the thing about it, he's just as demented and crazy as Veronica's ass. Because I said he got that side, but then he also got David's side. So he has these moments where he'll allow you to abuse and treat him like shit. But then when you get him to a corner, eventually he lashes out. And that's when the Veronica comes in. So pretty much after, RK leaves, Justin is like... You'll thank me one day for that. You better be thankful I was even here. And then, like, Jeffrey was like, what is it going to take for me? What is it going to take for you to leave me alone? And he said, your death. And he's like, Jeffrey, at least like, Justin, I told you to stop saying shit like that. He was like, well, I simply mean till death do us part. I'm like, you wanted crazy? You got crazy, bitch. Deal with it. That's all I gotta say about Jeffrey and his sorry ass. Let's move on. So, afterwards, we see that finally Hannah and Benny gets home. She's still asking about Jim crying Candace, and he's like, look, I'm trying to handle this, I don't want you involved. And she's like, I'm already in this. My name is on that bank, on that account. Like, I'm already in this. You need to stop leaving me in the dark. And he's like, I need to borrow your car. And she's like, for what? He's like, I want to go talk to Candace. I need to talk to Candace. Like, oh my God, it never stops with her. It never stops with Candace. You know how she is, always going off about Candace. About Candace this and Candace that. And he's like, look, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Just give me your car so I can go see Candace. So she gives him the car. He goes off to drive to find Candace. Once he drives off, Veronica's ass pulls in. Veronica is like, she's there, with the doctor, and they got a court order, and she's like, and pretty much she was saying that, Hannah, what the hell you doing here? She said, this is my house. She's like, oh, you done got a little upgrade, didn't you, honey? And this is step up. This is like a step up for you, isn't it? Yeah, but Veronica, your ass is actually broke. So all you is a stunt queen with a whole bunch of shit. You really ain't got no assets. Remember, Catherine read her books, pretty much a season or so ago. And then she tells fucking Veronica, well, Benny ain't here, so you can get your hoish ass out of here. And she's like, well, I'm not actually here for Benny. I'm here for Melissa. And we got a court order. And then she says that we have a court order to evaluate Melissa's sanity. I'm like, you ain't gonna be happy till Hannah beat the shit out of you, because you forever coming for her for being poor, bitch. Like your ass didn't know what it was like. You came from the south side of Chicago and you acting like you always had a silver spoon in your mouth. Bitch, have several seats, Veronica, for real. So pretty much she tells him, immediately Hannah's like, no, you're not coming in my house. And she's like, we have a court order, so we have, the right to come up in there and search, and you really don't want us to mess up your little dime store furniture now, do you? I was like, no, you not, still coming for her and shit. And then all of a sudden, she rings the doorbell. She's like, what, she's like, what, you don't actually have, keys to your own house? And she was like, Melissa, some people are out here to see you. And Melissa comes out and she sees Veronica. They go back and forth. Melissa's like, I'm not going anywhere with you. You ruined my life. I hate you. And what do you want? And he's like, no, we're trying to help you, sweetie. The doctor here is going to take care of you, trying to find out what's going on with you. You tried to harm yourself and you tried to harm my grandbaby. And she's like, no, you don't give a damn about me. You hate me. She's like, no, why would I hate you? You're carrying my grandchild. Just performing in front of the white man. And she's like, no, you're trying to get me to put away. You're trying to get me to, you're trying to put me away. And she's like, and eventually Melissa just panicked and ran back into the house. And then pretty much she lets her know, we have a court order to come in there and get her. She's like, you ain't coming up in here. She's like, that girl is a danger to herself. She's like, no, you're the danger, and I'm not going to let you lay a hand on her. And if anything, if she says, well, fine then, we'll just get the police then. She says, well, get the police. You're going to have to get the police because I'm not letting you in my house. And I do have that right. And she's like, oh, look at you acting like look at you trying to get all big with your hood degree. Like, still talking shit. And the next thing you know, we look up, damn, Melissa is on the roof. They all telling her not to jump, not to jump. And the next thing you know, that damn girl does a jackknife. Boom. So I'm thinking Melissa's done. And from the looks of it, I think Melissa is dead. So now, yeah. So then we see Wyatt. Catherine goes to visit Wyatt. She pretty much lets him know about the whole situation that happened down at the Iron Bone. And that they think Benny did it, and that Benny's going to take the fall. And he said, I don't care. It don't matter to me. Who cares? And she said that, look, he actually came in the bar after you, and they think he did it. And he's like, well, hey, sounds pretty good to me. And I'm like, see, this is what the fuck they raising, which is why I'm glad she turned his ass in, because he's an ungrateful piece of shit. Oh, junkie motherfucker. So then, she was saying, well, now it's time, for you to pay for your consequences. And she's like, oh, so I get it. Because I'm actually testifying against you guys, with the DA. Now you're just trying to, Now you're just trying to flip it out on me. She's like, no, it's about you finally stepping into the light and handling your responsibilities. She's like, oh, look at you getting all self-righteous and shit. And started talking big cash shit. And then he said, won't you sit down next to me? And he pretty much looks her in the face and says, I hate you and Dad. And I hate you the most. You know, you were always sending us away on summer camps or, you know, boarding school or whatever. You always wanted to get rid of us. You never wanted us around, you know. And then, you know, pretty much, you know, then he pretty much says that, you know, you're like the worst mother ever. Oh, that damn Catherine started reading. She's like, oh yes, I was the worst mother that fucking got you out of that camp after that priest did what he did to you. I was the worst mother that held you every single night when you cried every night because you couldn't sleep thinking about what that monster did to you. I was the fucking monster that was there for you, you know, in college, and then your stint in rehab after rehab after rehab after rehab. I am the worst mother that stood behind you when you killed little Lizzie and nearly killed Benny. You know, I was the worst mother when you called me, letting me know that you thought you killed someone after a bad drug deal. I'm like, you better read the fuck out of him, Catherine, with his trifling ass. Ungrateful little bastard. And then, you know, and then he was like, you know what? You know why? You know, why I always call you? Because you're the biggest devil. You know, and the biggest devil I ever had to face. And she says that regardless of what you may think about me and your father, we love you. And he's like, well, you got a fucked up way of showing it. And she's saying, and that's why I have to do this. And he's like, do what? Do what? And then she opens the door and then the police come in and he's like, you know, Mom, what are you doing? Mom. I'm like, oh, so you was talking all this cash money shit and then all of a sudden now you go back into little boy mode? Mommy, what are you doing? Mommy, what's this? Mom, no. Mommy, no. Bitch. And then the damn cop says that you're actually under arrest for the attempted murder of Vinnie Malone. So then we get the damn kicker at the end of the damn episode. David finally comes back. You know, he kind of sneaks up or whatever, you know, up on Erica because she heard somebody come in. And he said that, so did you take out your new car yet? She says, I drove it in a circle. I don't want to drive it without you. So he was like, okay, we're going to go for a drive. So it's like a beautiful day. The fountain in front of the house just looks so lovely. They look all nice. They about to get into the car and go for a drive in the new whip. We see that Erica gets in the car and then Dave was about to get in the car, and then all of a sudden, once he's about to walk over to the damn passenger seat, she turns the key, the damn car blows up, and we see that David gets knocked a few pegs, but we know Erica has been blown to smithereens, so that's where it ended. The explosion, and it was big, but personally, I think David is probably badly injured, but I don't think David's dead. But Erica, bye, girl. Bye, bitch. Damn. And I was just sitting there like, holy shit. This is crazy. But it comes back August 14th. So we're going to find out what's going to happen, after that. But yeah, this shit was really good. And I was so here for it. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back on August 14th when the Have and the Have-Nots, makes its premiere. So until next time, everybody, take care.